Hello there, in this tutorial I'm going to show how to configure terminal web services. So before that, let's see the concept of terminal services. So terminal services is a kind of a very cool thing, and that is uh, we tries to access software from our terminal servers. Know that no matter our terminal server is on WAN or LAN, but we access software from our terminal server, uh, but it looks like we are accessing software in our own computer locally. So for example, our terminal server is on Mumbai and we are sitting in Delhi try to access some software. So we access software from Delhi to Mumbai, but it look like that we are accessing software uh, locally. So that's a very cool thing about TS Web Services or TS Web Server. Uh, that it looks like we are accessing software locally, but we are actually accessing software from terminal server. And whatever work we do in this concept, it will only implement in terminal server only, not in your computer, not in locally. We access file, we create file on server only, uh, not in your local computer. So that's a very cool thing, but if in a big organization, for example, you have too many VPN server, it's not possible to access each and every, or it's not possible to carry each and every software in your laptop. So sometime, and also sometime, few companies provide software from server level only, so that our user not able to access those software or not able to access configure software uh, um, for security purpose. Company does that. So what we need to do here goes to server manager and roles, add roles. Next, you find the option to terminal services. Next. Now, terminal server enables the server host Windows-based programs to full Windows desktop. User can connect to a terminal server to run program, save file, and use network resources on that server. It means we enables a server. Windows it will be a host of Windows-based program or whatever software it is. Uh, it will allow our client to use that uh, that server as a host of that program, the host of that software. So we allow that server to run a program, save a file, use the network as resources. So this is a very cool thing about terminal server. So I'm just checking that it's giving me a warning that it's not recommended to install a server, uh, terminal server in Active Directory domain controller. Since this machine is a AD Active Directory domain controller, so that's the reason I getting this error. So I'm saying install terminal service, saying not recommended. Now here licensing thing came in, and terminal servers came with 120 days license. It's by default thing. I don't know why it's 120-day thing, but you will get the licensing of terminal servers of 120 days. You can extend it uh, by doing this. Now, installing this TS licensing thing will allow you to allow you to solve the issue or monitor the availability of TS license in your client. So I'm just not wants to. Now TS session worker is basically kind of network load balancing. Two or more TS web server if available in your system. For example, I have two or more. Active Directory domain, additional Active Directory domain. So I can put this TS session broker. Actually, not Active Directory domain controller. It's not that compulsory that you have to put TS web server in Active Directory, but actually if you have two or more uh, TS server, then you can install the session broker for network load balancing, so that if one terminal server gets uh, disconnected or got problem, then second one will able to took its place. So it's like that. TS Gateway enables authorized user to connect to the terminal server and run desktop on the corporate network over the internet. So it's like it will behave like a gateway, so that all client will pass from that gateway, pass from the server. All requests come to the TS terminal server first, then it pass it to other requesting server. So since we don't have a plan to install two or more TS server, that's the reason we are decline this gateway thing also. Now the web access, via web access, we can able to configure, we can able to access software of TS, of terminal server. It's a very cool thing we will do, and we will work around TS web access. We will work on TS web access. Actually, user access terminal server from a browser, and via browser we able to configure the software, be able to configure the program. It's very cool thing. So I'm just installing that and require raw features. Next, uninstall, restore application compatibility. So it's just if you install terminal service and giving kind of modification, you can read more and more here what the compatibility issue will raise. Now you can see the specified authentication method for the terminal server. Require network level authentication or do not require network level authentication. This is for the earlier operating system do not require network level authentication. Operating system of server 2008 or XP machine or 95, 98 require network level authentication option suited for all latest version of operating system. After Vista, all operating systems suits this option. So let me show you first by giving MSTSC. You can see the remote desktop connection. Goes to right click and about. You will find the SAL version 6.01 0.6001. And you see network level authentication supported at the desktop protocol 6.1. All the Vista after Vista version, after Vista operating system, all the version of remote desktop is suitable for this option. Require network level authentication, and do not require is all the earlier version of operating system earlier than Windows XP, included Windows XP. Next, system licensing mode, configure later. I just want to configure later. I've already said that license comes 120 days. You can allow license to per device. You can allow license per user. Per device means I already have a particular number of computer in my account. For example, my company having 50 devices, so I can allow or I can issue license per 50 devices. Or per user, you can allow licensing to per user, so that that user can access that license to any computer he wants to. This is very unsafe method. Sometimes if for example a client user left the company, then it might mess up with that license. So as usual, goes configure later. Now user group, uh, currently I don't have user group. I think I have to create one. So Active Directory users and computers, it's very easy method. Just goes to group. For example, I am to create manager. Okay, so that manager will also have user test1. This is very have to give a so always our procedure we have to give the user. Also for testing purpose we have to allow, or we have to create user for testing purpose. That's the reason it's better to create now. Okay, now add to a group, call manager, check names. Okay, add to a group, manager, check names. Okay, so add manager, check names. Okay, there we go. Now introduction about web server, you can read those. This is by default rows, so you don't want to do anything. Installation, it would took some time to install. We are pausing our video. Okay, so it asking me to restart our system. So I'm again going to restart it. So we'll restart my system. So after installation and after restarting a system, you find the one interesting thing is that no username and password is written. So I have to written the username, which is administrator, and the password, and hit enter. So again it will took some time preparing a desktop. And it's all done. We will get the conclusion stage of installation of terminal server very soon. You can see resuming configuration. There we go. Installation progress. This is very conclusion stage. And you find that terminal server is giving me 119 days license thing, and will stop working after 190 days. So there we go, terminal server. This is how we install terminal services, and this is the concept of terminal services. In later videos we will configure terminal servers more and more. So hope you learned something from it.